Number 3. Unsettling encounter at night while driving. So, I need to get something off my chest. I've been thinking about it a lot these past 2 days. On Thursday, 2 days ago, we were driving to my grandparents. It's a 6-7 hour trip with the car. My mom, fiance, our 2 cats have had a pretty chill road as always. Nothing like this has ever happened since I was alive and I can think. We usually drive 8 to 10 times per year to visit. I am 30 years old. At 23:45, there was eventually a longer road and a construction site where one side of the street is blocked, so we had to wait at a placed traffic light. This construction has been there since a few months already. So we wait, my mom on the front seats with me, and fiance on the right back seat with our 2 cats. About 1 minute of waiting, my fiance, which usually sleeps the whole road, thankfully was awake and suddenly says, "Hey, there is something, oh god." To which she started stuttering, trying to say, "There is a guy," but we didn't really understand her. My mom and me turn around. I was watching thinking it's some wild animal you usually don't get to see, but can't see anything due to the dark and the doors. My mom yells, "Oh god, just drive," so I immediately lock the doors and start driving full speed through the red light. A fully black clothed guy with a white mask, no holes for mouth or eyes, was literally sneaking through high grass to the right back of our door, crawling on his hands and knees in hope that we don't see him. We don't know if he was alone or if he had anything in his hands, but about half a meter next to our car, my fiancé saw him and potentially saved our lives. It sort of looked as if he was watching if someone is alone in the car. Bear in mind, it's about a 10-minute drive through a street with literally nothing but a village that is just a few kilometers ahead, with about 150 people living in it. That was about 15 minutes away from our final destination. We immediately called the police and informed them, to which they said they will forward it. But that's all, and no information from the police since then. I assumed they didn't really do anything, and until they would arrive, the guy probably disappeared. We were speculating if this was just a dumb prank, but at this time on this day, literally 0 cars drive through here. And not even to the bigger cities, there was barely cars on the road. So chances that only about 1 car passes per hour is pretty big. My mom had trouble sleeping, and I've been checking for longer if there isn't any tracking device attached to the car. Not that this would make a difference if he had. I don't know what to think about this, except telling you to be extra careful at night and always lock your doors. This could have turned out very bad, but I don't even want to imagine what this sick fuck had in mind. I have a really hard time believing that this was just a prank, because of how it just happened, plus at the middle of nowhere. What do you guys think? I still get shivering when I think about this. Number 2. I had an unsettling encounter while working. Sorry for any typos or misspelled words, I'm also brand new to Reddit. So this happened earlier this year, around February or March. I work at 𝓕𝓮𝓮 in a very small town, usually on weekends because I am still in high school. I work mostly nights, usually until 10:15 or later depending on how fast we clean. I was working with a coworker that I am not very fond of. She isn't very nice to me and she always makes my nights working pretty miserable. It was a normal night and it was getting smoothly. It wasn't very busy. I was walking through the aisles, making sure that everything is in its right spot and making it look full by pulling things forward. My coworker was doing the same, as well as pulling some coupons off of the shelves. At some point I was up at the register and listening to music with one earbud in. I had a customer and I was ringing them up when the doors opened and I didn't see anyone come in right away, meaning they were either contemplating on coming in or walking very slowly. When they came into view, it was an older man with a beard, and he was kind of short. I smiled and welcomed him in, and he just kind of stood there and stared. Until he finally spoke up. He said, "Hello, sweetheart." I thought it was weird for an older man to be calling me sweetheart when I was only 16 at the time. "Would you guys have any chocolate milk?" So I paused with helping the customer at the register, and I pointed him in the direction of the chocolate milk. So he left and was gone for a minute. When he came back, he told me that we didn't have any chocolate milk, and then asked if we had any in the back room. I said no, because we don't usually keep cold things in the back room like that, and he kind of became insistent to me checking on the back. I told him that I could not help him at the moment and he would have to wait. He got kind of agitated and left. I didn't really think about that interaction for a while, until it was almost time to leave, and I was checking my aisles one more time to make sure everything looked good, and I came up to the coolers where the milk was, and we had chocolate milk in every kind. This made my stomach drop, and I thought of the guy who was trying to get me to get into the back room. This made me uncomfortable, so I talked to my coworker, and she kind of brushed it off and told me I was overreacting. But do you think that he had sinister intentions? Cause why lie and say that we didn't have any chocolate milk when we had it in every kind? Number 1. Garner State Park dude on drugs tries robbery. Intro. This happened yesterday. I, am 17, was asked by 2 friends, both M16, to join them camping for a few days at a campsite in Garner State Park. What makes this so weird is that campsites here are within pissing distance of each other, like 15, maybe 20 yards. We were planning on staying 2 nights and 3 days, ended up leaving at 12 AM on night 2. We set up camp next to 𝓒𝓵𝓲𝓽𝓮 in Big Hill in the park. It took us an hour to set up the tent, cots and fire. There is a famous dance hall in the park that most people go to after dark. Night 1. Juan, friend 1 and not real name, Mason, friend 2, and I decided to go to the dance hall after a day of fishing and swimming. After a decently long and uneventful walk, we make it and it's dark out. The dance floor is hot and we are having a good time. At some point during the night, I got separated from Juan and Mason, so I started talking to some other guys and fell in line with the guy I'm writing about. 5 feet something Mexican guy. He says he's 17 after I tell him that I'm 17. He looks older in my opinion. I will call him Miguel for the story. Honestly, I don't think I caught his name. After 11 PM, the dance hall closes and we start walking back using phone flashlights to light the way, and Juan notices a GMC truck with its headlights off creeping behind us. After a while, it drove past and we thought barely of it. Night 2. Same kind of setup. We hung out with Miguel most of the night and he was tweaking. His pupils were all fucked up and he was slurring words. At 11 PM, Mason, somehow on God's green earth, went back to an RV with a girl he was talking to for most of the dance. Well, we have Mason's 4Runner and we'll just go pick him up later. So we start walking and Miguel says, "Hey man, come out to my truck." 1. What's at your truck? Miguel, Mexican OT, come on, let's bump some tunes, I got subs. Me, where's your truck at? Miguel then points to the back of the parking lot and starts sounding more aggressive. Comments like, I got some shit in the back, just pop your head in for a sec, and man, you're pissing me off, I'm finna hit you. Start rubbing me the wrong way. I then see a park ranger coming to get some kids out the bed of a truck, and I say, oh shit, there's a ranger, I got weed on me, we gotta go. Following this, me and Juan cinematically sprint for the 4Runner and make way to camp. About an hour later, Mason gets back and we all lay down for the worst sleep I've ever gotten, until I was awoke by Miguel at our campsite to ask if we wanted to hang out. Man, y'all wanna come out here? Me: dude, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of here. No, I ain't trying to do that. I'm trying to get your wallet. In times like these, I'm happy to say that my father, God rest his soul, taught me that sometimes you have to protect yourself and others. I grab my father's CNW equalizer and brandish it at the dude. He takes a respectful step backwards and sprints to his GMC truck and takes off. And 15 minutes later, we had everything in the 4Runner and we are driving 4 hours through the night to get home. This happened 20 hours ago and I've been up since. Please ask clarifying questions if needed. That's my story. Miguel, you rat bastards, let's not meet and fuck you.